Greetings, and welcome to another edition of Black Talk Radio, where black media matters and black life certainly matters. Today is Friday, August 17, 2018. Family, this video is about CNN's pundit Angela Rye, who is in a segment with 2020's Donald Trump's supporter and advisor, Gina Loudon. They are sparring over two issues. One is who would want to work for a racist in the White House, and number two, America has never been great, according to Cuomo statement. Anyways, let's take a listen. I'm going to intercede back and forth through the discussion because I want you to catch the tricks. Let's roll the clip. So we're going to start this off by first saying that the panelist is going to begin the discussion by bringing up some different issues for Gina to put the discussion in context. She explains it quite well, and then she allows Gina to answer the question. Now, what I want you to catch is the contradiction of Gina Loudon and how she's going to need to brushing up her skills because she contradicts herself a little too soon. It's quite funny and quite revealing at the same time. Nonetheless, I want you to catch what she does. She first starts off by saying how she doesn't believe in division or counting numbers when it comes to ethnicity on the job. And then at the very end of her argument, she talks about how there's only one white guy in this one department that she looked into. And that was just one that she looked into. But yet she claims she doesn't do those things. How contradicting and Klansplaining of you, Gina Loudon. Let's roll the clip so you get a gist of what I'm talking about.
How many African Americans work in the White House?
Gender. Look, I'm not going to go through and do a count the same way I'm not going to do a sit down and count on the staffers that are in your news organizations.
13% of the country is African American.
And we would love to diversify our staff and continue to do so. We do think it's important. We're going to continue to work to make that happen.
Up front now, Angela Rye, former executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus, and Gina Loudon, a member of President Trump's 2020 Re-Election Advisory Council. Gina, let me start with you. You know, in the context we're talking about here, all this discussion about Omarosa and whether there's an N-word tape and Kellyanne Conway not being able to say the last name of the one African American she could label who worked with her in the White House, it would seem a simple question. How many black staffers work in the White House? She couldn't even give a rough number. Does that disappoint you?
You know, what disappoints me is the division and the fact that we're having to count people based on their skin color. I don't like that. And I think that, you know, you look back at our history and we have a pretty amazing history of overcoming slavery, of expanding civil rights, of women's rights. And a lot of those things happened under American presidents who didn't have any minorities at all on their White Houses. Thank God we do. I looked over the list of the people that I know there, and about 1/3 of them are a minority or a woman. Those are great strides. Could they be better? Absolutely. And I know, I talked to some of my friends in the White House tonight, and they said, yes, they would love more diversity in the White House. The problem is, when you have someone come out and defend the president, or even say they want to sit down and have a conversation with him, for example, Kanye West, they're completely annihilated in the press. And so there is a trepidation there. So I think if we could focus on the fact that we would like to build on that and work on it together, I know that the administration is open to that.
So your number is roughly 1/3, and that counts women too. So you're saying 2/3 of them are white men, and then 1/3 are diverse in some way, but you're counting women in there?
Well,
I just want to make sure I understand.
You know, Aaron, if you look, for example, at the comms department, as far as my count, and I, you know, again, I did this cursory before the show here, but Hogan Gidley is the only white guy I can even find in the comms department. So I think it depends department to department. It's going to vary. But I think the bottom line is the policy that comes out of...
Yep, that was that contradiction. So listen, now she got to talk about the bottom line of all the good that's coming out of the White House. She's got to talk about that. And mind you, I got to bring this up right here and now. Every time they talk about the good and they talk about the numbers for African Americans, it is so divisive what they're doing, how they're pitting their white supremacist system against African Americans and leaving out everyone else as if their system is not affecting everyone else. I mean, it's so apparent what they're doing, how they're demonizing black people, and I really hope that other people who watch our videos catch that trick. It's very ugly, and again, it's very divisive, but we are aware of it. But nonetheless, when they say things like, let's look at the numbers of how many jobs it affected African Americans, they forget that these are policies that were put in place that are effectively working, but that were put in place by an administration before they came along. They should remember that, not just that Trump came along and snapped his fingers and things just started working. It just doesn't work that way. And you're very deceiving and deceitful, Gina Loudon, and people like you when you come along with those talking points and you don't clearly describe that. But we're going to continue.
100,000 new jobs, record unemployment for all minorities and women. I mean, you know the list, and it's a good list. And there's more coming out. There's new on the Dodd-Frank, the repeal. There's great news coming out about small business leaders, who many of them are minorities. So there's a lot of good news, Aaron.
Angela?
I think I got stuck at Gina saying that American presidents have done a great deal for people of color, like ending slavery. Like, I think I'm stuck in 1865 right now. Like, I can't believe that's the justification.
Well, that was a Republican president.
You know what, sis? And that's great. But you just really missed the mark. For you to have to say, right, that we don't necessarily need diversity in this White House.
That's not what I said.
Well, but let me just tell you what I heard, because I don't think you hardly understand.
No, because I don't want you to twist my
Gina,
words,
what you're
Angela.
not going to keep doing is talking over me, because my Black life matters and so does my voice. So what you're going to do right now is listen to what I'm saying to you. What you said was deeply offensive. And what I'm telling you is, you can't say, at least you shouldn't feel comfortable saying it in 2018, that, you know, this White House not having diversity can be akin to presidents who didn't have any black people on their staff but for slavery freeing slaves. Like, that's not okay in 2018.
Thank God it happened.
Ma'am, I let you talk through all of that nonsense. I just need you to let me finish my point, and my point is this. You're not going to be able to successfully name one black person who works in the West Wing, because you know what? Omarosa didn't even work in the West Wing. So regardless of your points about slavery, which are nonsense, I hope that you RIP those talking points tonight. They should never be resurrected. I'm telling you that it's a problem in this White House with the staff, and the reason why is because it's slim pickings. You know why? Because nobody wants to go work for a racist. There's not a single senior black person in the White House. And don't you dare say to me, Ben Carson, because he doesn't work there, and how dare his gifted hands, who's a brain surgeon, and who has never done anything on a construction project, become the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. This whole administration is nonsense, just like your talking points.
Go ahead, Gina.
Yeah, you know, Angela, I understand your feelings on this, but here's my point. I have an adopted minority son, yes I do, who happens to, Angela, I understand your feelings on this, but here's my point. I have an adopted minority son, yes I do, who happens to have Down syndrome. He experiences bigotry every single day in a myriad of ways, not just because of his skin color, but also because of his disability. And I understand that you and I don't agree, but I would not support a president that I believed was going to be a threat to his future. So what I'd like to have is a constructive conversation. And I think, you know, I think points like yours that are focusing only on the negative and not even acknowledging 700,000 new jobs for black people in this country, record low unemployment, and the rest of it, it's tantamount to what Andrew Cuomo said today that upset me too, that America has never been great.
And America has never been
great. Well,
and it's not great because people like you come on and lie for the president of the United States, and then bring out your son as an example, like you
Could
ought
we
to be
focus, though,
completely
on
ashamed of yourself.
what America is doing well, and how about we look at what we can agree
You know what
on,
America's
and we
doing
agree
well?
to
They're getting
build
ready
on
to
it,
turn the House
rather
and the
than
Senate
to
over to somebody who can
rather than to call each
legislate.
other names and cut each other down and be divisive. I don't think this is. I think America's
at the top,
tired of
Gina.
the division, Angela.
Starts at the top, Gina. Guess what? As
right.
soon as your president stops calling people names, maybe he'll set a better example for everyone else.
All right.
Oops.
We'll leave it there. Thank you.
She told you, Gina. I think you might want to go back to the drawing board. Maybe not. I think you'll do just great for Trump. Trump 2020. Anyways, hope you guys like this video. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Guru at Black Talk Radio, where black media matters. We'll see you in the next video. Got something special coming. But until then, peace out.